Hello everyone, and welcome to the final build in my 30-day create mod build series where I built an aesthetic andesite alloy farm. And the entire city is now done. We have done 30 different builds, and each build has taken no more than one real-life day. Although the entire project has taken about a year and a half, which is a lot longer than I planned on it taking, but I'm so happy to finally be done, and yeah, let me show you guys the final build. So this build over here on the side, we have a very basic iron farm. So we just have some cobblestone being generated up above these crushers here. And then we got gravel coming out here and it's being washed. And those iron nuggets and flint, as well as some of the gravel, is going inside here. And in here, we have the aesthetic part of the farm. So in here, the first step is we grab some iron nuggets from the depot, some gravel, and then some flint. And then we activate the lava, and the lava gets filled into the basin. Then the basin goes over here, and we compact all of this to make andesite. Once the andesite is done, the andesite and the iron nuggets go into the mixer here to get mixed into andesite alloy. And then when the andesite alloy is finally produced, it's going to tip over, or the basin is going to tip over, and we're going to dump the andesite alloy onto the belt, just like so. And that's my andesite alloy farm. Now, in my previous videos, I've kind of shown you how to build this from scratch, but I think in this video, things are a little bit more complicated. So I would highly recommend you get the schematic, which is going to be in the video description. And then I will kind of tear everything down and explain how things work so that you can replicate it in your world. And now, like magic, we have removed most of the roof for everything here so you can actually see what's happening, and I'm going to go through and explain how everything works. So first up, we have our iron farm. So up here, I just have some waterlogged drills and some lava on this side with some cobblestone breaking right here. I also combined this so that we have a dripstone lava farm right below the lava here. So you have these cauldrons here, which are going to pick up lava, and then we're going to pull the lava out with this pipe here via this pump. So that's like a bonus, this iron farm. So we have this. The iron goes into some chutes, and those chutes, let me see if I can actually show it a little bit better here. All right, we actually have hoppers here with cobblestone. So the cobblestone goes into the hopper, then it goes into the millstone here, and it gets crushed. And here we have a chute that's actually going to bring the gravel down into this item vault here. So you have iron, gravel, and flint here. And then the other gravel, we're going to end up washing. So that's going to come out here. So these funnels are attached to those millstones, and the gravel is going to come out here and get washed via this encased fan. And everything is powered by this chain drive up here. From this vault here, all the items are just going to go up into these vaults over here. So you can see I have a smart chute here for the flint. And any gravel goes in here, and any iron nuggets go in here. And anything else that's not supposed to go in there is going to go into this cauldron here, which is supposed to be filled with lava. So we can just grab a chute. There we go. We'll fill this with lava. So there. That's supposed to be filled with lava so that we automatically delete our items. And also, since we have a cauldron with lava like this, we can destroy items and we don't have to worry about like anything catching fire. I think, I'm pretty sure. Just to be safe though, I would turn off fire tech because yeah, you see that moss building behind me? I almost burned that down. So that's how the iron farm works. The lava, it's gonna go down like into these cauldrons. It goes into this pipe here, right? Goes like it's being pulled via this pump here and via that pump, and it's gonna get stored in this fluid container here. So in the fluid tanks. And this is just a 3x2x2, I think. And then we have a second pipe, which is going to pull the lava out. Right now, it's not activated because it has a clutch here. It will get activated when all three of these are empty. Then that lava will activate and it's going to fill up this basin here, which is the basin that's making the andesite alloy. I have the mechanical arm that sits up here, so I kind of removed that to get everything to stop. But basically, that mechanical arm tends to grab one of these first, and then it's going to put that item into the basin. And then I have this redstone link here, which sits above each funnel here. You have one for each one. These are turned on, and they activate the funnel, and they prevent items from going out. And basically, when this depot is empty, this will turn off. This is a smart observer. And that's going to turn on this redstone torch here, which is going to activate this pulse repeater. And this is set to 10 seconds. And you can see it repeats the same way for each one here. And here we have our redstone links. And you have one for iron, one for gravel, and one for flint. And basically there's a 10-second delay before the brass funnel turns on again or activates so it can drop items. It's going to be 10 seconds. And it's the same for each one. So basically, this arm is going to take 10 seconds to pick up all the items, and then it will wait before dumping new items. And when all the items are gone, this down here, you see these three right now are turning on this redstone that's below here. So when all three of these are off, it's going to turn off this. That's going to activate this little pulse repeater here, which is going to trigger this. And this signal is what triggers everything, like all the mechanics and everything. And I'll get back to that later. But when all of those three, like when this redstone turns off, so when all of these depots are empty, basically this will turn off and this clutch will turn off, or it will allow rotation. Right now it's stopping rotation, so it will deactivate and allow rotation. That's going to rotate this, which is going to rotate this pump, and that's going to fill our basin with lava. I hope that all makes sense. And then we get to the signal. This redstone link here, it's doing a few things. Yeah, it's a little bit complicated. A little bit of redstone. So these three, they get empty, right? We remove all the items from these three. The lava fills up. That's the last step. Then our bucket here, our basin, is going to be full with 10 iron nuggets. It's going to have 10 gravel, and it's going to have 20 flint and 1 bucket of lava. And then this will trigger. And that will trigger this redstone link here. This lever here can be turned on. It's like an off switch because it prevents the signal from being triggered. So this is an off switch. If the system is running, you could trigger this and it would like pause everything. And then you kind of have to get it running again. So this will trigger when those 3 depots are empty. And that's going to set off this timer. So after 13 seconds, we want to do this thing. After 40 seconds, we're going to do this thing. After 50 seconds, we're going to do this thing. And after 1 minute, we're going to do this thing. And when this triggers, it's also instantly going to trigger this thing. Now, this here, with the smart observer and the andesite alloy, this signal basically rotates this entire setup here 90 degrees. So it's going to rotate from here to here, like under the press. So 90 degrees, 90 degrees, and then 90 degrees. It's going to do that 3 times. And it's doing that instantly when the depots are empty. It's also going to do it 13 seconds after that point. And it's going to do it 40 seconds after that point. That's going to trigger this middle sequence gear shift here. And this sequence gear shift here is just sent to turn 90 degrees. That's all. And it's getting powered by this setup here. So that's all going to turn these shafts here, which is going to turn this mechanical bearing, which is turning 90 degrees. Now, after we have turned 90 degrees 3 times, so 270 degrees total, after 50 seconds, which is how long it takes for those 3 turns to occur, we are going to activate our belt rotation, which is this one. So you have andesite alloy and belt here, and that is going to trigger andesite alloy and belt here. And this is another sequence gear shift here, which is going to turn 278 degrees and then wait for 15 ticks and then turn 278 degrees back again. And that is basically going to turn our basin. So our basin is going to be here in this spot, and it's going to turn the basin to drop the items onto the belt and then turn the basin up again. And then finally, over here, we have andesite alloy and our bearing, and that's triggering after 1 minute. So this one triggered at 50 seconds, and this one is triggering at 1 minute. And that is going to trigger this one all the way over here. And that's just going back 270 degrees. So we had 3 90-degree turns. That's 270 degrees in total. So we're just turning back all the way. And now, if we have done everything right, we should be able to hook up our mechanical arm here. So we want to take items from this depot, take from this depot, take from this one, and we also want to place into here. Actually, before I do that, let's go back a little bit. You want to make sure that this bearing here, it has to be set to only place near initial angle. Don't set it to always place when stopped. Don't set it to only place when anchor is destroyed because that will mess it up. Only place near initial angle. This one should be placed, or it should be set to always place when stopped. So that's important. You can also get your super glue out, and you want to make sure that this is glued like this. You can actually get rid of this. You just need to get glue through these 3 blocks. That's also important so that these are glued. Now, back to our mechanical arm. We'll take from this one. We'll take from this depot, and we're going to take from this depot. And then for the basin, we need to right click twice because we want to deposit items into this basin. And then we place this up here. Now, everything that I just described should work. You should see the timers activating here. You can see the pump activating, all the signals and everything, and then we have the movement. So you can see now down here, this one is active and it's going to trigger soon after 13 seconds. There you go. And then this one is going to do after 40 seconds, this one after 50, and you can see they're getting like redder and redder, like lighter and lighter, and that means they're getting closer and closer to actually triggering. That's how this is working. And we can see up here that it's still running, and then after those seconds are up, it'll move. So there we go. And now it's waiting to drop the items onto the belt. And this filter here, this is set to andesite alloy and andesite, just because those are the only 2 items that we want to produce. We don't want to produce any other items with our mixer or our press, because since you have iron nuggets, you might end up pressing them into iron ingots, for example. So here we go again. You can see when he picks up the last item, it deactivates this redstone, the lava turns on, and we also have this being activated here. And then another thing that I really enjoyed doing was I connected all of these cogs here, so you can see they move together to turn the basin there. I thought that was just like a little bit of a cool feature to have. I'm just waiting for this to finish again. So once it resets and goes back, we're going to have a new trigger of the system. And now we can go ahead and use this lower deposit. So we kind of want to do like a timing thing. Basically, you want to wait for this to trigger. Once that has triggered, you want to pause before this one is triggered. So now that's when it's safe to kind of pause the system, because now it's going to go through a full cycle here. But after it's done with this cycle, it will end up stopping. And what I want to configure now is I want to take a link controller. So for like debugging purposes, you can have one of these, and you just want to set up these signals here. So I'm going to look at these, and then I'm going to hold shift, right click. And now we can set up our andesite alloy. Ooh, where do we want it? Probably want left, right. Can get rid of this one. So we want up, left, and right. We'll set this one to the 90-degree turn. This one will be the 270-degree turn, and this one will be to drop items onto the belt. And then we'll click the check mark. And now we have a controller that we can use for debugging, and I'll show you how to use it very soon. So now the system is kind of paused here. It's not going to trigger because we disabled everything down below, but for manual testing purposes, we now have the system. So we can right click with our link controller to activate it. And now we can press W or not. I thought I did set it to W. Oh, but that's always activated. What we probably need to do for this debugging purpose is we need to like turn this off again. And now we can actually do all the controls. So by using our link controller, we can now press W to go 90 degrees. And then if we don't want to wait for that, we could press W again to go another 90 degrees. So we'll right click again and press D. And now we can see that we're dumping everything onto the belt. And those are all the wrong items. But you could like set this up and you could like test it, make sure that it's working and stuff. And last but not least, we have the actual brass funnel here. So we have, oh, there's actually a list filter and a metal bracket in here. But yeah, you would press this and you would get your andesite alloy. So that's how my andesite alloy farm works. And I like to keep this on because it prevents lag. Funnels can be a little bit laggy if they're left open. And you have an access door here if you want to access any of the machinery. And I did also add a little bit of a door here in the back. So if you need to access any of the machines back here, you know, you can do so. And that's all for this build. That's my andesite alloy farm. And yeah, this has been an incredible series. So thank you so much for everyone who showed me support. And I love all your comments and feedback about all the builds. There are many things I wish I could have done differently. Many things I really learned from this. So I'm very happy that I did it. I've become a better builder. Some builds were nicer than others, but I do try to keep in mind that I did only spend one real life day on each build, so that was a limiting factor. I could also tell that the 25 by 25 area that I had to build in was a little bit limiting as well. So maybe if I do something like this in the future, I would probably change that. But yeah, overall, it's been great. It's been a lot of fun. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. All the schematics are available for free. Check the description down below. You'll find them on cratemod.com. You just check my profile. It has like a list with everything. And also, if you want to download this world, a completed world, you can find it on my Patreon. Anyone who's a supporter, I think you can also pay a little bit of money just to get the world download. Yeah, look, we started over here with the starter house here. And then we did the iron farm. Those are some great builds to get going with. I think the windmill was also very popular. Nobody really liked my honey and sugar farm, but this is like one of my favorite builds. We have the meat factory. Yeah, we got this is a blaze rod farm, but it uses snowballs to kill blazes. So this was like a pretty fun build. I really like my castle, like that. I don't know. It was the first time ever that I built a castle, and I'm incredibly happy to like have built a castle inside a 25 by 25 area. I really had to squeeze this in here. But yeah, it's so cool, and it has a working drawbridge. Like, whoops. That was for the door. Okay. There we go. It's been a while. Yeah, one of my biggest mistakes was I recorded like 15 episodes before even like watching the video. Like I just did the recordings. 15 episodes, all recorded. Oh, I'm making so much progress. I was gonna get this done in like, you know, in, I don't know, 15 weeks or something. That was my initial goal. And then I checked the recordings. They were all messed up. I had this like weird messed up voice in every single video that I'd recorded, and it was just a mess. Now, my amazing editor, Batsy, was able to recover some of that audio. They were able to like fix a little bit of it, but I had to like voice over and like go back and re-record a lot of my episodes. So yeah, that really set me back. And then in real life, I also did like a move. I got a new position at work, you know, like a lot of stuff changed in real life. So just a lot going on. And yeah, where do we go next from here? I look forward to making more amazing videos that you guys will hopefully enjoy. And maybe I'll go back to doing like more of my 100 ideas and stuff like that. I really enjoyed those. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see y'all next time. Bye bye.